didn't talk about that segue in the pre-show meeting.
No, we didn't. It was just so natural.
Yeah. So the next guy I want to talk about is Tyrod Taylor, who...
Yeah, so you're going to talk about the quarterback of the Chargers after you told me the Packers aren't going to win enough. I just want to clarify.
I'm talking about Tyrod Taylor, the quarterback with the second lowest all-time interception rate. Did you know that? Isn't that crazy?
So that's a good stat. I like that one.
So, talking about schedules, Tyrod Taylor has the 8th most favorable schedule for quarterbacks. That's pretty good. The last time we saw this guy, he was in Buffalo. He took a really mediocre Buffalo team to the playoffs. Let me tell you these numbers. In 3 years, 36 sacks, 42 sacks, 46 sacks. That was in the playoff year. This guy hasn't had a chance to breathe in the NFL. He's, even with those numbers, he rushed 104 times for 568 yards, 95 times for 580 yards. He scored 6 TDs in a season running. That's 94 fantasy points all by itself. Yeah,
I think that's putting a lot on Tyrod Taylor's shoulders. He's gonna have a 2-meter run around scramble because he's on a bad team, but that puts a lot of pressure on Tyrod Taylor's shoulders here.
So let's say, because he never played 16 games, he played 14, 15 sometimes.
Right.
Let's say he runs like he did in Buffalo. All right, that's 107 fantasy points. If he does that and throws 20 touchdowns and 2,500, I'm not giving him, a Hall of Fame season here. I'm saying 2,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. He has 299 fantasy points and his QB 6 last year. And in this offense, he has weapons that he didn't have in Buffalo. I mean, he has Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, and
You're asking me to assume and be okay with the idea that a 31-year-old Tyrod Taylor is going to run the same way a 26-year-old Tyrod Taylor did. I think that's a recipe for disaster. I don't think that you can put him out there to run it 100 times a game and expect that he's going to hold up all season.
Well, he's not going to run 100 times a game, probably. That would be
a season.
That would be a record. But last year, you're overanalyzing, Jason. Last year it was clear.
Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing?
No, we're supposed to analyze the appropriate amount. Last year was clear based on what Baltimore was doing and what Baltimore was saying. It was just, if you just read into it literally from what they were saying, they were going to do these very different and special things at the quarterback position with a guy who was capable. Therefore, I drafted the capable guy for $1 in Lamar Jackson. So this year, it's a copycat league. There are 3 teams that are in a position to jock their style. That's the Cardinals, the Texans, and the Chargers. They all have quarterbacks and teams that can do this. And I believe that the Chargers saw what Baltimore did, saw how efficient and effective it was, and they're going to do it. And then you say, oh, what about the offensive line? Baltimore had a great offensive line. Well, some people say that the Chargers have a really bad offensive line, bottom 5 even. They added Brian Bulaga. All right, their left tackle is in his 2nd year, so obviously he's growing and getting better Pipkins. Pouncey is returning from an injury. That's half their offensive line right there. So good players returning, offensive line gets better. Their defense is solid. This seems like the $1 quarterback that could be a top 4 quarterback. I said it. Mark it. Save that drop.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we're going to mark this on the track here.
We are doing, after the season, we're going to come back. We're going to do a show where we were wrong, where we were right. And this is going to be the point where you all say, sorry,
we
Brad.
all get a good laugh.
Sorry, Brad. You were right.
Yeah, Baltimore, San Diego is not. Lamar Jackson, Tyrod Taylor is not. So I think there is some rushing upside here, but I think that we are maybe giving a little too much credit to what Tyrod Taylor's going to be able to do with his legs in this offense. The rushing quarterback is obviously the cheat code for fantasy football and whatnot, but I think that there's a little too much faith being placed in the Tyrod Taylor legs here in this scenario.
All right. Don't draft him.
All right. The next guy we got, I'm going with Matthew Stafford.